We've had some responses from parents where they don't feel safe bringing their kids downtown.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's out of a place of just not knowing.
Yeah.
They're reading the media and they just don't know what goes on downtown because they probably don't come downtown. And I know a lot of people, they don't really travel downtown unless there's a reason to.
Yeah.
They kind of avoid it like the plague.
Yeah. And I get that. I get that. And I was telling you before that one of my favorite coffee shops just recently closed right next door to you. And I'm so sad for that. But I would come down. And I mean, even at our studio is right across. Like our studio that we're in right now is in downtown Lethbridge. And when we leave here at night, we're leaving in the dark. Like, It's never crossed my mind to have an escort out or, you like anything. You're just cautious when you leave and you just look around. But I've never, in the time I've done this show, and I mean, I leave sometimes at 9 in the dark, I've never had any problems. I've gone to coffee shops down here and never had problems. I haven't witnessed anything. I had an office not far from the safe consumption site and I never had problems. Once in a while there was a needle, so it's interesting to see just the different ways people react to change in our community, right? So I like that you're sharing.
And I mean, it's just one of those things where as population grows, it doesn't matter where you are, crime's going to increase.
Yeah.
And I think just crime in the city of Lethbridge is up everywhere. Not just downtown. So for somebody just to kind of pinpoint and to be like, it's downtown, well, it's not.
Yeah, well, and we know that because, I mean, I live on the west side and there is, car burglaries like crazy. And I mean, it's just the way that the times are nowadays. And I think too, like, it's the evolution of drugs as well. A drug may have started with alcohol at one point and then led into marijuana and then, cocaine. And now we're seeing these drugs that are very highly manipulated. And so it could just be that people are just more crazy on the drugs. Like, I don't really know, but I don't ever feel uncomfortable in our city, so I think we could put that to rest with that.
There you go, right? You're a female, this little tiny female, and you never feel uncomfortable.
No.
I mean, there's no reason for me to feel uncomfortable. I kind of walk with my chest up high and my head up high, so...
Unless you're going looking for it, right? Like,
exactly.
I mean, you're not a target in the city. And I used to take the bus station is down here, and I used to take my kids. I wanted them to experience what it was like to take public transit because I thought it was important that they don't feel like they're privileged to have car rides and stuff. So we'd hop on the bus and take the bus down here, and then we'd walk through Galt Gardens to the mall. And I mean, I never really ever felt like I was going to get myself in trouble doing that. But I think it's just, people are just scared and so leading into that fear thing, I want to talk a little bit about COVID,
okay.
Because this is, from what I understand, Justin, this has impacted your business quite well, right? Because you were forced to completely shut your doors with no income for 3 or 4 months, right?
I mean, we were on trend before COVID-19 to having our best year on record.
Wow.
I finally was able to bring in some front end staff to help me out and make my life a little bit easier, because I put in 12, 14-hour days in the gym. So I'm in the gym from 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
That's insane.
Those are my days. So I was finally getting to a stage where we got the clientele going, we got our personal trainers going, I have some staff helping me out, driving sales, and then
it just is
pulled
pulled from underneath of you. And now this wasn't like, I mean, any small business right now is experiencing this because this wasn't any kind of warning. This wasn't here's 2 weeks to prepare. It was like, boom, doors are closed.
Yeah.
Like no business. And then nothing, nothing. So how did that impact you? Like, how did you reach out to your customers? How did you
Oh man, so it was scary.
Yeah.
For the government just to tell you can't work. It was
your livelihood, what you built.
I put my entire life into my business.
Yeah.
My heart, my soul, everything. And then for it to just be shut down overnight, it was scary and there were so many unknowns. We were like, well, what's going to happen? How long is this going to last? What are people's thought processes going to be like when we're allowed to reopen? Are people going to be afraid to come to a place like a gym? Because they think it's dirty. Or that's where you're going to get sick is in a gym. So there was a whole bunch of mixed emotions going on for myself, for my wife, for our entire team. I have a great team of personal trainers. We had to lay off everybody.
Oh.
So, they're all getting to a stage in their careers, in their young careers where, oh, they're finding momentum and they're building a clientele, and then boom, done. You can't do it anymore. So it was scary. I mean, business-wise, we had to make a massive pivot. So what we did was we reached out to all of our customers. We started an online portal, and I was in the gym daily filming content, filming workouts.
So you were able to, like a lot of businesses, adapt and find new ways to still provide for your customers. Because some businesses just shut down altogether and just kind of waited out the storm. And then others were like, how do we still provide value to these people? Like, how do we still support them? Because, and I mean, I feel like just the physical aspect of health is just as important as the mental, right? So,
well, and that's just it.
You have people that rely on going to the gym every day to stay healthy.
You get to know these people so well, and I felt like it was my obligation to do my part in this whole craziness to help people stay healthy.
Yeah.
And there was a time about halfway through where I decided just to make our workouts free to the public.
Good for you.
So we were doing it on a private portal online, and then I was like, you know what? The whole city needs this. Mm-hmm. If you don't belong to a fitness facility or a gym, and I know a lot of the gyms in town were doing something similar, mm-hmm. my thought process was, let's give everybody access to this. Everybody needs to be able to stay active and stay healthy through this, because mental health and physical health is a big issue right now.
Yeah, and I think this is a great way for you to build a trusting relationship with people that maybe you weren't clients before, because here you're giving them an opportunity to get to know you.
Absolutely.
It's just like that is a brilliant way to not only provide for your clients, but then to also provide a service to those that maybe couldn't afford it at one point, or were scared, or it's just a really great way to kind of hit the best of all worlds, right?
And now that we're, well, I'll say this loosely, on the other side of this COVID-19 thing, because we still don't know what's going to happen, I made some really good decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I didn't know what I was doing. It was just my gut.
And I feel like that's the heart of an entrepreneur. Like a true entrepreneur does not give up. Like when faced with a challenge, it's sink or swim. And clearly you swam like Dory in Finding Nemo.
And honestly, there was days where, I'm standing in this 6,000 square foot gym by myself in front of camera, filming content, and I'm just like, man, I'm not feeling it today.
Yeah, yep.
Like, it was
is so relatable to most small business owners.
Yeah. It was getting harder and harder for me to, pump myself up to do these workouts and film these workouts and provide the content and the experience that I feel like people at home should have had.
Yep. That's amazing. Wow. And so the gym just opened up. It's the first week of it opening up. How have you guys been doing? I know it's been busy.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
We've had a good response, a really good response, a little bit of a mixed response. So, I mean, not all the gyms in town are open yet. I think the Y is still closed.
Yeah.
Like the bigger gyms are still closed. So we've had some people kind of come and check us out, maybe for the interim until their normal places open up, which is fine, which is good. Our door's always open to everybody, and hopefully we can do what we do best and make people feel comfortable in our facility so they want to stay. That's always my goal during this, but we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, and how has their response? Like, I'm sure you've had the opportunity to talk to some of your clients and say, like, how are you feeling now? Like, where are your clients at in this phase? Are they ready to pound it out? Are they feeling like they just need to take it slow? Or are they, like, ready to unleash some aggression on your punching bags?
You know what? The spectrum it's so split. You get those people that just are like, they don't care anymore. They want to get back to normal. They want to get back to the gym, and they want things to be how they were before. And then you get those other side of the people that are like, I'm a little bit apprehensive. I don't want to be close to people. I don't want to touch the same equipment that somebody else touched before me. So as the owner, I'm trying to manage all the expectations.
Yeah.
And you don't want someone that's kind of, a little bit insensitive to the situation, rub somebody that is sensitive to the situation the wrong way, and then you start losing members that way.
Yeah, you have that internal conflict of, points of views, right?
So you have to err on the side of sensitivity.
Yeah, and that's got to be tough too, right? Because I'm sure you want to stay neutral through the whole thing, but you have a very big obligation as a gym owner to make sure they're safe in your facility, right?
Absolutely. So, you have to feel safe, they have to feel welcome, and they have to know that we're doing everything we can do to keep them healthy and safe.
And we talked a little bit about that, and you have ramped up your protocols a little bit, but you were a very clean, reputable gym to begin with. So you feel like your safety protocols were there like long before, we had to start cleaning equipment that's just something you did. Like,
you know what? I've been saying it for years that, like a restaurant, for example, they have to meet guidelines. They have Alberta Health coming in and checking on them periodically. Why don't they do that for gyms? Mm-hmm. I've been saying it for years that I think AHS should check on facilities and check on gyms and make sure A, their equipment is working properly.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And B, that everything's sanitized and wiped down and the floors are mopped and the equipment is in working order.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And so that's not really governed?
No, it's not.
That's interesting.
And I've been saying it for years. It should be.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're very high up on that expectation, so that you would be a really great example of what it should look like, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to talk a little bit about a Facebook post I had seen that you posted. I think it was probably 2 weeks into COVID, and you had just been very open and raw and honest on your struggle. And you had done this post about really supporting local and what it means to support local. And what really got me at the very end of this post, you had put support local, save a life. And I really want to, I want to ask you what that meant, because this even just talking about it is going to make me tear up a little bit. But that to me it just hit home, like you needed that for survival in that moment. So I'd really like you to touch on that and tell us what you were going through when you did that post.
I'm going to try not to tear up.
Yeah, I feel
because this is super emotional for me. But so what happened was one of my clients, my very first client ever, I was I think 15 years old when I started training this man. He's a local business owner in town, and people don't realize the pressure a small business owner, a local business owner has. Everything that we do, because of this shutdown, he ended up taking his own life.
Oh my goodness.
And it was heartbreaking to me. When I got that phone call, it was tough. Mm-hmm. So, I know there's been a little bit of a movement lately for people to support local, and I really hope that sticks after COVID. The big box places, the franchise places, there's always going to be a place for those, but I really hope patrons and customers, they start thinking about where they're shopping.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. I don't think that people realize how much heart and soul goes into what, and I mean, just listening to you talk today about how much passion you have for supporting your customers or your clients, right? Just listening to you never once talk about yourself or your financial gain or anything like that. All you talk about is how you can impact somebody else's life. And I think that's what a lot of people forget about, how hard we work locally to support the people in our community. And something like COVID hits not only families, but these small business owners so hard. And I think just seeing your post, that's why I reached out to you, because I'm this is somebody who wants to share an experience, and I want to give you that opportunity to share it with everybody here. And I think just talking about these things is what we need. I agree with you. It's great to support local, but you need to know why you're supporting local. It's not just a hashtag. There is a true reason that you are, and like you say,
it's not a
you're
trend.
Saving a life. No.
It's not and now it's trending, so let's do it. Let's jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah. And I mean, to even think, what if there were no small businesses? You would be forced to support some other family in some other country, or it just, when you really think about what you're doing when you're supporting local, and I mean, it's different with local too, because there's a lot more hiccups and a lot more emotion involved in what you're doing and who you're dealing with. But I think it's very, very important.
And it depends on what you think is local.
Yeah.
I've spoken with people that think Walmart's local.
Yeah, no.
Because
maybe they should Google it.
Because they employ local people.
Yeah.
Because they create jobs.
Yeah.
So they think it's a local business.
Yeah, those are jobs. Yeah. I
I
know that's a tough one, right? Because it's true, you are supporting local families, but you're not actually putting the money back into our local economy. You're not. Yeah, you're not actually. We're not in return. Those people aren't spending their money in our community. Like, no, yeah, right. You're spending your money that they're paying you, and you're in return spending that money in the community, supporting other local businesses and stuff like that. Yeah, and right, people don't think of it that way. A lot of people think of price.
It's all price shopping.
Yeah, price or accessibility, how quickly they can get it, right? And yeah, it would be nice if we could start to see that change. And we are in a city of 100,000 people. Like, we are not in a big community. So no. We have a very big small business hub. In Lethbridge, I think, I don't know the statistic off the top of my head, but yeah, there's a big population of 10 and less employees here in our city.
It's the backbone of this community.
Yeah, it totally is.
And I think about my trainers and my staff, and without me, they probably wouldn't have an opportunity to follow their passion.
Yep, exactly. Yep, I think that's super important. And I want to lead into the group that you created then and talk a little bit about you going above and beyond now, not just support local, but how you're going to do that.
So because of what happened with my client and how it affected me and how I wish I could have been there for him, and I think I could have made a difference and maybe saved a life just by reaching out to somebody personally a little bit more. I decided to create a community for small local business owners to just kind of get together and chat. Because, you can vent to your spouse or to your family, but as a business owner, you can't typically air your laundry out to public.
Yeah.
Without getting judged.
Yeah, there's that weakness piece, right?
There's that weakness piece, and people are afraid of it.
Yeah.
If I say the wrong thing, they're not going to come back to my store.
Yeah, they don't think I'm the expert, or they don't
think I'm this, super tough guy.
Yeah.
So
it annoys me so much that we have this mentality, because I'm like, how are you going to learn anything if you don't express your feelings, or if you don't share how you're feeling, so that somebody who's been there can be like, hey, listen, I was there, it sucks, but this is what I did. Try it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And just being a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah, totally.
If I told you I rode my pedal bike to work for the first year I opened my business. Because remember I told you I sold my vehicle.
Yeah, so you only had one car.
I sold my vehicle to pay for first month rent and to get some gym equipment. My wife had a newborn baby, so she had the vehicle. I pedal bike to work for a year.
And see, I think people need to know this part of business. People need to understand it's not all like we ain't swimming in dollar bills. Like, that is not what it's like.
Daddy didn't buy me a gym.
Right, exactly. And I think that is very helpful for anybody who is starting a business, or who's even struggling in their business, to know that, hey, I didn't get where I am today because I had capital in something else, or I sold something else, or I got gifted by a parent, or I rode my bike, I sold a car, right?
There's some grit and grind to the process.
Yeah, and I think any true business owner, any true entrepreneur, there's a struggle. There's a story of struggle at some point, right?
Sure.
Yeah, the ones that you want to follow anyways. I mean, the ones that maybe we're just handed it, maybe you don't want to, use them as influencers. But yeah, okay, can you tell us a little bit about this group then? Is this a public group, or is this a private group right now, or?
It's a public group open to any business owner that wants to join. And my vision for this is to take it to a place where somebody starting out can join to get advice. Mm-hmm. So, there's these breakfast groups and business groups that you can join. Not like that. Somewhere where you can just ask other people questions.
So is it similar to a mastermind? Are you familiar with a business mastermind?
I'm not.
Okay, it's along that line where you get a whole bunch of business owners together and you brainstorm and you talk and you express your challenges and you try to help one another in kind of that form. And I really like that, because I know for myself, it's been a journey I've been on as well. Just knowing that there are some struggles for small business owners in Lethbridge, and trying to find those resources. I've found, going through my research and really learning about our community, I do find there is a lack of that. There's great business support and there's great, but we don't ever sit here and actually talk about how crappy things are,
but you
right?
just have to pay for it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's a business. A lot of those are a business that you join and you pay for. Yeah,
and a lot of business owners and especially new business owners just don't have the capital to do something like that. So I wanted to make it free. I wanted to make it, let's help you succeed.
Yeah, I love it. And do you do this like monthly? Like, how does this work?
So
how can I join? I want to join.
You want to join?
Yeah, I want to join.
Totally.
Yeah. So, is it an open invite tonight? Because I think I'm joining.
Let's join it.
Yeah.
So I've kind of partnered with Trevor Lewington from Economic Development.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if you know Trevor.
Yep.
He's been one of my long-term clients as well. So when all this kind of happened, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I know they were doing the
task force.
They're doing the recovery task force,
Yep.
and they're doing a whole bunch of great things as well. So I was like, how can we do something just for business owners?
Yep.
You know, apart from surveys and stuff like that, actually get connected.
Yeah, it needs to be that emotional or that mental component, because there is a lot of support for financial. There's a lot of support for, the things you need to be doing, but there isn't this like mental, this like, how do I talk? Who do I talk to? Like, how do I get it out?
How do I get through my day?
Yeah, right.
My business is closed right now.
Yeah.
How do I get through my day?
I feel sick to my stomach and I don't know what to do and I want to cry, and who do I talk to about this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we all go through all those wave of emotions right now. Like, I just want to get back to doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
And what I put my heart and soul into, but I can't.
Did you have these feelings or these emotions before COVID though? Were there days, up and down days then too? Like, would you have found a group like this prior to COVID would have been very helpful? Maybe it would have prepared you for the emotional part of this.
I kind of feel like I was meant to start it.
Ah, good for you.
I've been in business in Lethbridge for, like I say, 10 years, almost 10 years. If more so, if you consider garage days.
Yeah. I would consider those. That's still business. Doesn't matter where you're doing it.
So I've been through all of it. Every single thing you could possibly think of, I've been through a lot of it. I'm sure I'm going to experience more. So just sharing that and helping people, and doing what I do, training and coaching and teaching, it's just in me. It's in my nature to help people. And I want to see people succeed. There's this stigma around competition, keeping up with the Joneses, especially in a small town like Lethbridge.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing good. I want to do good.
Yeah. And we tend to compare ourselves to others in our industry because we are so small.
Why?
When you see somebody succeed, you wonder, am I failing? But it's just what you see.
Why can't we all do well?
Yeah. Why can't we all get together and pat each other on the back and be like, you're doing great?
I want to see all you guys do well, all the gyms, and the ones that aren't open right now, I feel terrible for them. I wish they could be open.
And they will, right?
And they will.
Okay, I'm like, is there something we should know about? How come they don't get to open?
Just size, stipulation, regulations. Some of the bigger places, they just can't, because it's 50 people or less. So some of the bigger gyms like the Y and stuff like that, they just can't run because they need more than 50 people in there. Yeah,
and that's not fair to, like you say, the Y is probably one of our biggest facilities, not just for fitness, but as a whole, recreation as a whole. Yeah. So it would be hard for them to try to pick and choose who gets to, and things like that. That takes a lot of manpower to run those, right? Like you say, if there's 10 of you in your gym, it's a little easier for you to communicate with 10 people and be able to keep everything current. Then, yeah, that's crazy. All right. I want to talk a little bit about, I guess we kind of touched on this, but I have, COVID aside, let's talk some of your struggles through business.
Okay.
If you had any, I don't know, because I'm like, do you have any? Because
Do you have any?
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm like, I want to know what it took for you to get into this chair today. Like, to get confident enough to sit here and say, I'm vulnerable, I'm so proud of what I'm doing. And we've said 10 years over and over and over again. So that is like a huge triumph in its own. So what struggles did you have to get here? Like, tell some of these small business owners that are going through it right now what they can expect, because...
Okay, well, a little backstory on me. Growing up, I was bullied quite heavily. Quite heavily.
Really?
And that's what got me into martial arts.
Defense? Was it to defend yourself, or?
Just to build confidence, to do something. I've been in a lot of fights in a ring. I've never been in a street fight.
Good for you.
I've never thrown down with somebody on the street.
Huh.
Even though I run self-defense courses for people, I do all this stuff. I'm a skilled guy.
Yeah.
But I don't have a mean bone in my body.
That's interesting.
You know, and for me, martial arts, it's such a thinking sport. You know, there's so much brain power that goes along with it. You know, thinking about how to manipulate somebody's body and do things. So martial arts, that background is what has molded me into doing what I do today.
Is being able to help others feel confident.
Building your own confidence. You know, the more confident I am, the more confident I can make somebody else.
So have you ever experienced bullying throughout your business career? Have you ever felt bullied by other business owners or by you know, people in the industry, or even by your clients? Sometimes we get bullied by clients, right? Like
clients, staff,
really?
Landlords.
That's interesting.
You name it. I mean, you know, a lot of people look at me like this young kid.
Yeah, you do look really young, but you're not that young, are you? Because you're like 10 years. You must not be that young.
I'm 35.
Okay, you're young. Yeah.
I just turned 35 2 days ago, actually.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. So, no, I'm old.
Yeah. According to our children, right? According to our kids, we're old.
According to our kids. Man, you're really
I know.
old.
I'm like, what? Grandma's old.
So considering I've been in business for 10 years and I've accomplished what I've accomplished, I am young, and I'll admit that in the business world. And so a lot of people, they look at me like they can walk all over me and get me to, you know, roll over and do things.
Bend their way.
Manipulate me and, you know, make me pay for something that I shouldn't be paying for, stuff like that. So I've experienced a lot of that kind of stuff.
Do you think that's a nature thing too? Like, do you think that's a personality? Because it sounds like you're a people pleaser and somebody who really wants to be of service. And sometimes our personalities, we just want to make people happy. So instead of fighting with them or arguing with them, we just give in, because it's like, that's easier, what we do.
Right?
Yeah.
It's easier to say yes than to say no.
Yeah. I don't want to upset you because I like you, but you're kind of taking advantage of me right now.
You know, right? So you kind of learn through trial and error and getting taken advantage of, and, you know, people doing whatever they think they should be able to do in your business.
Wow.
Just to like put your foot down.
Yeah. And take charge.
Because at the end of the day, it's my business, it's my reputation on the line.
Yeah.
They're my customers that are going to get lost if you don't act a certain way.
Yeah, and so they have to kind of represent you as a brand, which would reflect probably your personal values, right?
Exactly, right? It's our community, and especially being in the industry that we're in, it's so much about community and being welcome, you know, and I really pride myself in that. You would never go to a place like the Y and the person working the front desk know your name when you walk in the door.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not passing unless, I guess unless you're there for 12 hours a day, but you're not passing people. Yeah, right. I do want to ask, we touched on it a little bit right in the very beginning, but tell us what it's like to work with your wife. I want to dive in a little bit. Like, how long has she been with you in the business?
Yeah, so Brittany's been with me in the business for 7 years now.
Okay. So shortly, like, your child would have been 3 then. You have a son, right?
Son.
Yeah, okay. And he would have been 3.
He would have been about 3-4 years old. So she's been at O2 for, we'll call it 6-7 years.
Okay. And she did fitness competing, correct?
She did do a fitness competition.
So was that something you trained her on, or was there somebody in the gym or did she just discover how to learn how to do this on her own? Well, if you're allowed to talk about this, I'm sorry if she...
No, totally. Okay. She's fine.
I think it's an important part of people understanding this amazing dynamic.
I actually met in the gym when we were kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we've been together, I want to say, for 16 years.
Wow.
Married for 12.
That's pretty good.
You know,
there's a pause there.
So
That's
it's been great.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot longer sometimes.
Yeah.
But we know each other so well.
Yep.
And she knows that the gym is my thing. And she knows that sometimes, actually all the time, I'm the guy driving the bus. I'm the guy making the decisions. I'm the guy that knows where to take it and where to pivot and where to go. And she knows how to just say, okay, what do you need for help?
That's awesome.
How can I help you? What do you need me to do today? So she's really good at just being my helper and being my support and doing the things that I need her to do in the day.
That's amazing. And I think that's important when you're a business owner, to have a spouse that is on board with your dream of owning a business, right? Because there is a lot of hours that goes into it. And there's emotional stuff. There's just a lot that goes into being a business owner, right? And to have a partner that wants to go along on that journey. So going back to COVID then, because that means that both of your incomes were highly impacted by
zero.
Yeah, right? Some of us have spouses that still have paying jobs that, so how does that look? Like, that's no income for 4 months. Was that not? And then let's throw in, you guys have a son who's in school. So now we have children who aren't in school. Like, how did this turn your life upside down for?
Oh, in so many ways. My wife is the type of person that she was like, oh, this is awesome. You can hang out with us more.
You're home.
Yeah. But I'm the type of person that's like, I need to be doing something all the time.
I need to keep working.
I need to keep working. So it was a struggle for me to wake up the next morning and not go to work and not get up at 5 a.m. and before everybody else and do my routine and do my thing. That was a struggle for me. And I had to, I took a couple days and I was at home and we were doing the family thing and hanging out, and I was like, I have to do something.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I have to stay busy. That's just my personality.
Yeah. Like, well, if you're used to working 10 to 12 hours a day and you're going from nothing.
I'm a workhorse.
Yeah.
And I'm used to it.
Wow. And so now being back in the gym, it seems to be a little bit back more into your natural routine. And,
oh, you have no idea how happy I am this week. Like I get so much out of other people's energy.
That's awesome.
I do, being around people all day, I love it. And people love being around me, and it's one of those things where getting back to that and just being around humans again, it's been so good.
Yeah, I can relate to that 100%. That would be what has been the hardest thing for me, is not being able to have coffee in person. And I'm not a Zoom person. Like, I really struggled trying to take my business online because I was like, no, I'm not buying you a coffee. Like, you're in your pajamas at your house. Like, it was just weird. Yeah. So I'm really in that same situation. I'm just glad to see people are starting to look at each other in the eyes, like, face to face and stuff like that. So
and know it's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Like, this feels like progress, doesn't it? Like, it feels like things are moving now and it feels good. So
it does. And at first it was kind of like people didn't really know how to act. Like, can I touch you? Can I give you a high five? Like, I had clients coming into the gym being like wanting to give me a hug because they haven't seen me in so long, and just kind of stopping and being like, and I was like, you're giving me a hug.
Oh, I love it. I know, and we naturally go to shake hands. Like, I don't know how many times I've shook a hand and then I'm like, and it feels so wrong to apologize for that. Like, it feels wrong, but I think we're just going to have to get past that and be okay with shaking somebody's hand and go secretly sanitize in the car. Yeah, right? So, yeah. Okay, we're going to wrap up tonight with you just letting everybody know how to get a hold of you at the gym, where they can find you on social, and where you're located. So, and if you have any offers, if you've got anything you want to offer out to the community to get them into your gym, let's do that as well.
Totally. So we are downtown Lethbridge. O2 is downtown. We are on 6th Street, the nicest street downtown in my opinion.
Yeah, this trees are gorgeous right now.
The trees are gorgeous. Yeah. It's beautiful. We got so many awesome businesses on 6th Street. So I truly believe 6th Street is the nicest street downtown. You guys just honestly stop in. The best way to get a hold of me and to learn what we're about, come and say hi.
I love that. Like, it's not going to bother you if somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to learn about your gym.
Calling or sending me a message, it's great, but stop in, get the vibes of the gym, get the feel of the atmosphere.
And do you offer like a free session or some way of them, do you have some kind of complimentary try it out for a day type thing? Or?
So we typically don't do a free session. So what we do is your first time in the gym is only $10.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So a first time drop in is only $10. And then after that, you can either get a punch pass, a membership, or you can keep doing drop in visits, which goes up to $18 after that.
Okay.
But your first time's only $10.
That's awesome.
You can't really get anything for $10.
Is that 10 to try all the equipment stuff, or is that they could do 10 for a class, or is that like
either
all
or,
day? Like
either or.
Okay,
so you
cool.
can try class, or you could just come to the gym and check it out and see if you like it. $10.
That's awesome. And then they can also do a little research on social. So I know you're on Facebook and Instagram. Yep. What are your handles?
At O2 Training Center on Instagram. At O2 Justin for myself. I all I do is post gym stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, they're kind of the same page, which I get it.
I don't. If I didn't have a business, I wouldn't be on social media.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. Yeah.
So my business is my social, and then we're on Facebook as well. You can just search us, O2 Training Center, on Facebook.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm just going to wrap up with an introduction to next week's guest. So next week I am going to have Jeff Cove, who is the manager of The Watch here in Lethbridge. He's going to be joining us to talk about the program a little bit. That's next week live here on Jess FM at 8 p.m. And thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was great to meet you for the first time.
Hey, my pleasure.
I'm going to come check out your jam. And I want to check out your business group because this is amazing. You're doing some really great things in our community. So
yeah, so I'll post the next meeting.
Could you do that? Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll pick a day and a time, and it's kind of hard now that things are opening up, trying to pick a time that works for everybody.
Yeah.
So maybe if it's like a Saturday meet or something, I'll pick a day and a time, and I'll share it on social media.
That would be awesome. Let anybody in our community that feels like they could benefit from having these conversations with your group, that would be great. So
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being on here, and we will see you all next week live.
My pleasure.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Justin.
You bet.
Have a good night.